Back. My first guest is an Academy Award-nominated actor who's appeared in the films Fight Club and American History X. His latest film, Down in the Valley, opened today in select cities. Thrilled to have him here tonight. Please welcome Edward Norton.
Very good.
Hey, I was thinking about this today. I was trying to... Ladies, please. That's half for you and half for me, I'm convinced. It's an even split.
Even split.
Yeah. You know, I was trying to think about this today. I met you a couple years ago. I went to see you do a performance, isn't that right?
Yeah,
Burn This. And you were fantastic.
You were so nice. You and your wife came back. And
yeah, we went backstage. I'm always awkward about... Am I supposed to go back? You know, can I go backstage? I don't want to bug anybody, but you did such a great job. I wanted to talk to you, and then I was realizing, like, well, you haven't really been doing a lot of movies since that time. Is that right?
I took like a year and a half off right after that.
Really? Was there a reason for that? Were you just, you know, burnt out, or?
I don't know. Maybe it was you. No, I mean, in
I
a
had
good
that
sense.
effect
No,
on
your approbation meant so much to me that, you know, I really felt almost like I'd peaked.
Conan's backstage. He's praised me. My career should end here.
Yeah. What am I gonna do after that?
Wow. I'm gonna start praising lots of careers of people I despise. Get them to stop. Now this is. What have you been doing? I mean, you really wanted to just take time off?
Yeah, I took some time off. I was. I had this lifelong dream of getting my pilot's license, so I spent like 6 months just doing that. And, you know, sometimes you got to take a little break from it, and and so you're
trying to tell me to leave show business, aren't you? Yeah.
you know.
I'll go now. Yeah.
But then I kind of got back in and did a whole bunch in a row.
Yeah,
and now they're all stacking up.
You took a break, and then now you're not just back. You're back with a vengeance. You've been working on like 3 different movies at the same time.
Yeah, well, it doesn't always. I mean, sometimes you do things over a long period of time, and then for whatever reason they come out all at the same time, which is strange. But what
kind of movies have you been working on?
Well, there's this one that we put out this weekend, Down in the Valley. It's actually a real favorite of mine. It's probably one of my 3 or 4 favorite ones I've worked on, but then I spent a lot of last year in these foreign locales having those big international film experiences.
Like, where did you go? I would think that would be the cool part of being an actor.
It is. I was in Prague for about 3 or 4 months doing a film called The Illusionist, and then I was in China for like 5 months.
You were in China?
Yeah.
How did you like what were you doing in China?
We were making a big film called The Painted Veil with Naomi Watts, and it was interesting. We were one of the first big Western productions to shoot all over China.
Well, now, what did you do for fun there?
Well, you know, we worked.
You worked the whole time?
Yeah, and I had an accident in China. I broke my back on this film.
You broke your back?
Yeah, I broke my back.
That's not an accident. An accident is... When I say, like, I had an accident, what happened? The little nail broke on the side, you know?
You stubbed your toe on the desk.
Yeah, broke your back.
Yeah, I was setting up, but we weren't filming. We were setting up this stunt, and I got thrown off a horse into a very rocky area.
Oh my God! That's why I'm always saying this. I would insist on a stuntman or a dummy for anything I would do.
I should have. Well, see, this movie that you're going to show a clip from. I did this Western, and so the year before I had done all this riding training with like these great, you know, rodeo roping champions and things like that. And so I was telling myself, you know, I'm a good rider, which is never. That's like one of those things you should never do.
You sound like Rain Man. I'm a good rider. Yeah, I'm a good rider.
I'm a good poker player. I'm a good rider. That's how you get yourself in trouble.
So you get thrown off a horse onto some rocks. It's always nice when you can break your fall on some rocks.
That's how I think I said it's okay. The rocks broke my fall.
Yeah, I'm taken care of.
It did not feel good, and I remember I thought at the time, this could be really bad. You know, this could be one of those stories.
Sure.
I'm going to end up one of those people.
Right.
You know, like you know, hampered for the rest of my life.
Right.
And but I didn't actually know it was broken, and so I finished the film out and then went to Hong Kong.
Weren't you in excruciating pain?
I was in a lot of pain, but it was interesting because I was playing this very uptight British doctor.
Right.
And it actually kind of worked because it made me. I couldn't.
Yes.
I was doing
This
a lot
will
of that.
endear you to the British everywhere.
Yeah.
Here's a chick.
No,
when you're playing a British guy.
I'm not saying they're all uptight.
Yeah, I know. That's good.
But I was sort of ramrod straight, but and so it worked for the part.
It worked for that character to be like, chip, chip, cheerio.
It was, and that's how far I am willing to go
for a role.
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, De Niro just gained the weight. You know, I like.
You're like, break that back for me. It's true, De Niro.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Anyone can do that.
Anyone can gain the weight.
Fellas, get the rocks out.
Yeah.
Now, Down in the Valley, this opened today, and we have a clip from this. What can you tell us about this movie?
It's a Western. I mean, it's a contemporary Western. It takes place out in the San Fernando Valley right now. But it's hard to describe. But I would put it in the category of films like Fight Club or The 25th Hour that I've done, in the sense that it's got a very in the same way. How do you sum up something like Fight Club? It's very hard to sum this film up, but it's a very romantic, sad kind of story about people trying to find their place and.
Right, and your character does feel a little bit like he's come out of his milieu a little bit.
I play a guy who it seems to be a cowboy in the modern world, and is trying to chase this dream of the Old West, and constantly running up against the fact that the modern world doesn't really want you to ride a horse across it anymore. And he reminds me of like Cool Hand Luke, or one of those. He's one of those guys who is kind of lovable, but you just know he can't quite hold it together. And he ends up in a relationship with a girl who's really too young. Evan Rachel Wood is this terrific young actress who plays that. And I think the clip they have is the first time we meet.
You guys seeing each other
at
this gas station. Let's take a look at this clip from Down in the Valley.
Hey, Tex, you want to check the oil?
Yeah, I'm going to do your windows too.
Right, that's quite a deal.
Cowboy, man.
Well, we advertise full service, so we got to give full service.
Are you for real?
What?
Are you for real?
I think so. Want to give a squeeze?
Yeah. He's real.
So cool. The movie is Down in the Valley, and it's in select cities right now, and I'm a huge fan. It's so cool to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for doing it. Yeah, anytime. Edward Norton, Isabel Goulart is coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.